On August 1st, 2016, the 35th anniversary of MTV's launch, Viacom rebranded VH1 Classic as MTV Classic. The idea seemed very promising, offering those who grew up on MTV when it was in its prime a fresh, nostalgic breath of air, while those who weren't around when MTV was in its prime, like myself, could see what we were missing out on. The immense amount of programming that MTV had back in the 80s, 90s, and even the early 2000s could offer a huge amount of variety. This should have been successful. What should have been a channel to watch all the time turned out to be a disappointing mess. So what the hell happened? Let's find out. The channel delivered for the most part on its first day by broadcasting MTV's first hour after VH1 Classic signed off, as well as airing other music-related programs like Unplugged, a few music movies, and some leftover stuff from VH1 Classic. And aside from an odd airing of Ghostbusters, I'll explain why it's odd later on, things were good. After the airing of the Alice in Chains and Nirvana episodes of Unplugged, an hour of Daria aired. Okay, good enough. And afterwards an hour of Beavis and Butthead. This is where things start to fall apart. Rather than airing the classic episodes of Beavis and Butthead, they aired the goddamn 2011 episodes. I mean, I like the 2011 episodes, but where are the classic episodes? In fact, that's all they've run for Beavis and Butthead. Not a single classic episode has aired, and we're only about 2 months into the channel's launch. There was Aeon Flux after the hour of Beavis and Butthead, but I didn't stay up to watch it because I was mad that they aired the 2011 episodes of Beavis and Butthead. Day 2 was much of the same, except instead of airing animated programming, we get some live action. Okay, so what do we start out with? Why? Yeah, Run's House is not as old as you remember it. It only was made in 2005. It's not a bad show. It's surely not classic, though. After an hour of Run's House, an hour of Pimp My Ride. I'll let this one slide because I actually like this show. Yes, I enjoy this show. Shut up, I have my reasons. After that, Cribs, a guilty pleasure of mine. Except no classic episodes! Where are they? Oh, don't tell me you cheap bastards can't air the tour of Mariah Carey's Penthouse or the tour of Playboy Mansion that took a whole episode to show. So yeah, mostly disappointment, aside from Pimp My Ride. Day 3. More live action goodness. This time, Punk'd. Ah yes, a favorite of mine. Again, reasons. After that, an hour of Jackass. I think this one we can all agree on. After Jackass, Wonder Chosen? 1 second, guys. I don't remember this show. Wonder Chosen. Okay, this show. It's not only not classic, it didn't air on MTV at all, you son of... It aired on MTV too. Jeez. And it came out the same year Run's House did. Well, there's another slice of disappointment. Day 4. Much of the same. Back-to-back animation. First off, reboot Beavis and Butthead? Again? No thanks. I'll pass. What's after that? Yes! I love this show. Yeah, it's a pretty big deal to see Clone High airing in reruns after it was canceled 13 years ago. I'll buy the DVD of this series at some point, I swear. Also, MTV Oddities aired. Awesome. But yeah, you guys probably get where I'm getting at, but if not, here goes. MTV Classic seems to have been falsely advertised, despite airing some old programs that some people enjoy, and keeping the music going well, with plenty of variety for genres. There's not enough actually here to keep us entertained. Other programs that could be aired are instead ignored, and in their place we get movies. They aren't even music-related movies. Music-related movies aired on VH1 Classic, and some of them still do air on MTV Classic. But towards the end of the channel's lifespan, they started to become less music movies and more blockbusters that have nothing to do with music entirely. Not to mention, they like to run them into the fucking ground. For example, Starship Troopers aired on Saturday, October 1st at 7 p.m. Guess what aired the day after that at 11 a.m.? Starship Troopers. Yeah, barely 16 hours after they showed the movie, they aired it again. Why? You couldn't really find any other programming to air, so you rely on movies that we could watch on any other movie channel? Lazy! Now you see why I said it was odd for Ghostbusters to air. Not to mention, they like to rerun the same episodes of their program, especially Unplugged and Reboot Beavis and Butthead. And it seems like they're only targeting millennials with this channel. What could be done to fix all of this? One thing MTV Classic needs to do is use the archive of programming. That way, they don't have to air so many non-music related movies and leftovers from VH1 Classic. Instead of running My Girl for the umpteenth time, why not rerun some Celebrity Deathmatch episodes? How about putting on full episodes of TRL in place of Spice World? Instead of Dick, why not Totally Pauly, The Tom Green Show, Remote Control, old VMA specials, and many more programs and specials? And put a cap on what is and isn't classic. Shows like Laguna Beach, The Hills, and Run's House are pushing it. If you're just going to air those shows instead of what the people actually want, why not just rerun those shows on the main MTV network or MTV2? If nothing is stopping you from airing them where they shouldn't be, why push these shows? It seems to me like they're playing it safe by choosing to only target the average millennial who might catch a glimpse of late 2000s or early 2000s MTV before it started going downhill, instead of Gen X who made MTV what it was. By giving both audiences what they want on one channel, they could have tremendous ratings and lots of variety. Those who grew up during MTV's prime era can relive that feeling, and those who didn't will not only get that fix, but also get their fix on what they grew up on during their time when they watched MTV. That's really what it all boils down to. Variety. They lack variety because they don't want to use what they have because they're limiting their target audience. If they stick to the same schedule and plan, which they have for about 2 months now, interest is going to drop. Those who remember MTV are going to be mad because they aren't getting what they deserve, and those who don't remember it will just get bored real fast. Bottom line, if MTV Classic doesn't start giving us more variety now, Viacom will have killed 2 birds with 1 stone. Trying to use nostalgia has failed because they won't use the full library of classic MTV programs. And unfortunately, this isn't the first time Viacom has tried this, and it probably won't be the last.